What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. This is the recap for episode 8 of Raising Kanan. Now, there are several things that we want answered this episode. The first one, what's going on with Kanan and his cougar? Is Raquel going to go handle that? The second, Marvin and the mob, because Marco got hit. He shouldn't have been out there. And then Lulu and Cartier, what is he going to do with this music? And his bulletproof record's going to fall into the wrong hands, and Lulu keeps taking steps back after the murder of Crown. Well, before we jump into it and we break down this recap, if you like power content, live after show discussions, breakdowns, predictions, and theories, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. Make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram right here. Raising Kanan is definitely going in the right direction this season, and we're at the point where we need to know everything that's going to happen because we're almost to episode 10. So let's go ahead and jump into it. This is the recap of episode 8 of Raising Kanan.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you if you want it.
We start the episode off with Dominic. Dominic, he was with Marco when they went to go get rid of Tony. Now, he did get shot. We seen him hiding in the pigeon coop. Well, in this episode, we see Kanan is narrating, and we see Dominic coming into the hospital, and he's saying he thought he was going to be able to hide out and let this blow over. But the only thing is, once you start bleeding, unless you stop that bleeding, it's never going to stop. Dominic does make it to the hospital, but unfortunately, hey, he says, I'm dying. The nurses come out and we see him on the floor of the hospital. Exactly what we've been wondering. Raquel goes to confront Polymer because she's talked to her daughter, and her daughter said, hey, my mom, she might be messing with your son Kanan. Matter of fact, it ain't no might. I caught them in the room. So when she gets there, Rock is banging on the door talking about, open up, I'm Kanan Stark's mom. We see Famous poking his head out because he hears the noise. Now, Polymer, she's saying, oh, I don't know who your son is. Rock said, don't play stupid with me. Leave my son alone. And I heard this isn't the first time you've been messing with young boys. So this lady, she has been doing this over and over. And Rock put that thing to her head and told her, don't let it happen again. This is your final warning. When Rock leaves, you see Famous run back in his room. She closing the door. Everybody's scared because when that thing is to your face, what is the procedure when you got a gun to your face? Exactly. You freeze up. Marvin goes over to Jersey to holler at Unique. And Unique is getting straight to the point. He said, I heard Marco got killed and the smash and grab gone wrong. But we know that ain't the truth. Now Marvin, he's like, man, well, you know, I don't have any business with the Italians. Unique is saying, come on now. I know that you guys are working together. And it's not Marco you got to worry about. He's dead and gone. It's his partner. Now Marvin is trying to say in the paper, it said he got shot too. But Unique is making a valid point. Until it says he's dead, you need to handle that. Because as long as he's alive, he can talk about what they went to go do. So now Marvin, he's sweating, and Unique tells him, hey, you about to be in a world of mess unless you go and handle that. Kanan is sitting out at the bus stop. Now he sees a random car ride by and he's like, man, who is this? Then they loop around and they speed up to the spot. So at that moment, he should already been hitting the block. I'm talking about getting low. Turns out it's Scrappy's mom. And Kanan's like, oh, my bad. I thought you was somebody else. You can't pull up like that. But I apologize, Scrappy was family. Scrappy said good things about you too, Kanan. So that's one thing about Scrappy. He was loyal. And even though Kanan was a spoiled kid that was supposed to get into the game, Scrappy still said he was good. Now his mom is the criminal informant, and she's telling Kanan, your mom knows what happened to my son. You need to talk to her and tell her to figure this out, because if not, I will. And what she's insinuating is I will go tell the police on your mama unless she can come up with some answers on who killed Scrappy. Of course, this has young Kanan sitting down and thinking his mom might be right, because Kanan already believed that Scrappy, he wouldn't have took his own life. So now it really has him wondering about everything that Raquel has been telling him, and she just told him a couple episodes at the campfire, no more lies. Laverne shows up to Kenya's house, her mother, and she's saying, hey mom, what's going on? I'm missing school for this. She's excited to see her mom, Kenya. You see she's dressing with dresses on. She's wearing all the clothes that her mama bought. And Kenya says, hey, come on in. We all want to talk to you. Now, when she looks in there, it's the whole congregation. They about to have an intervention because they know that Jukebox, not Laverne, Jukebox likes girls. And the church is about to put them prayer hands on her, and they trying to, this is the 90s. This is what they trying to do. They trying to get the demon out of her. Even though you are all right to do whatever you want. But you gotta remember, this is the 90s. Lulu and Ziza, the power couple, the Bonnie and Clyde, if you will, because these two, they're getting closer. They got rid of a body together, and they're pulling up on the DJ that's supposed to be spinning the music that had Lulu distracted when he had Ziza all up in his face last week. Now, when they get here, he's saying, I don't work with you. I work with Crown. Well, Crown's on vacation and you're working with me. He looks at Ziza and says, well, if this is your artist, tell her to come upstairs. Maybe we can negotiate something. Maybe we need a little bit of talking between her and I. Basically, he trying to, you know what I'm saying, get some to get the song played. Lulu pulls that stainless out, puts it in the guy's mouth and tells him, look, you're not going to play my song 1 time, 2 times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. You're going to keep my song on repeat. Now, when that gun's in your mouth, pause, you got to do what they say. And you can see Ziza is starting to like this. She's laughing. Raquel, she's around Cartier. We seen last week she went behind his back and told Tremont, listen, I can get you that work for a lower price with less stress. Now we hear Tremont is on the phone with Cartier saying Abraham got jammed up with a gun. Can you call your lawyer to get him out? Cartier saying my lawyer's gone, but I got something in front of me that needs my immediate attention. He talking about Miss Raquel. Little does he know behind his back, she's working. Now, you hear him being big-headed, talk about them dudes in DC. They need to use this as some quiet time, sit down in jail till my lawyer gets back. But this also lets them understand that this organization, I'm at the top of it. Now, this is where it gets extreme. Now, they over there trying to get this devil out of jukebox, per se. And they got her sitting down, they holding her head, making her watch videos of a man and a woman having consensual sex, and that's what the church wants. That's what the Lord wants. But then you got 2 girls kissing each other and they hit jukebox's hand while they're forcing her to watch this so she can know not to like women. They torturing this young woman. Kenya just sitting there letting it happen, talking about no one said it was going to be hidden. And the guy, the pastor, talking about this is the only way that we can get this out of her. This is minor pain in comparison to being damned in hell. It's messed up. And you hear Kanan narrating saying, everybody wanted to know how Juke became so cold-blooded. Well, that's not for him to tell, but this is one of the things that made her that way. Marvin knows he messed up and he's taking Unique's advice. What is he doing? He's calling around the hospitals. Hey, have you seen my friend is probably a white guy, more than likely a white guy, but he got shot. They're saying, okay, who is he? What is his name? And what do you mean mostly white? Because Marvin doesn't know who went out on this hit with Marco, but he's trying to figure out if that partner is dead or not. So the hospital, they're asking, what is his name? He's saying, oh, well, I grew up with him as a friend, but he's mostly white. And they would say, what do you mean by mostly white? Well, he's Italian, he's mostly white, you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't know who he is, so he doesn't have a name. Or does he have a description of him? Marvin is talking about, I'm trying not to mention his name for confidentiality reasons. We are the hospital. We hold the confidentiality back. Marvin throws the phone because he didn't get no answers. Malcolm is finally back at work. Last time he came in, he found out that Scrap wasn't the snitch and it was his mom. This time he needs to talk to the captain because he did go and talk to James Bingham, Nicole's dad, at the end of last week's episode. Now he's saying, Captain, I got a problem with Burke. She's going through my old files. And Captain is saying, look, we also got some other complaints about Burke. The parents of a white girl, talking about Nicole, they won't let her death just go up under the rug. They're saying Burke has something to do with it, and Burke is preying on young women, giving them drugs for information. So now Malcolm has a little bit of dirt on Burke, and we all knew that she wasn't doing everything by the book. But now you can fight fire with fire because Burke is trying to figure out about him. Now he has dirt on her. Kanan heads back to his dog Famous's house. Famous ain't been to school in 2 weeks. He's chilling, living the life. He got his own spot. Go to school, kids. Now, when he gets in there, he's like, wait a minute. I forgot to tell you, your mom woke me up this morning. He's like, man, quit playing around. He said, nah, man, your mom pulled that thing out on Palomar and told her, don't mess with you no more. So, of course, Kanan's like, damn, my mom done did something else. Now, when he goes to talk to Palomar, she's scared to open up the door. I'm talking about she got 2 deadbolts on it. She even got the chain lock on there. She like, Rock is not coming back over here. She tells Kanan straight up, I knew who your mom was, and that's what made me interested in you, but I can't mess with you no more. Kanan is young. He got a piece of that old thing. He said, I want some more. She said, nah, that ain't gonna happen. Plus, he's an underage kid, Palomar. Kanan comes back in the room after losing what he thought was going to be his forever. Famous and went in his bag thinking it was his because he was going to get into some homework, and he finds that paternity test between Malcolm Howard, MH, and Kanan Stark, KS. Now, Famous is saying, what is MH? Is that DEF CON's name? Why do you have this if you already know who your dad is? Kanan kind of pauses because I don't really know who my dad is, but I think MH is more than likely my dad. Unique pulls up to the mob boss's house, Sal, to pay his respects about Marco, but he's getting straight into business with Unique. Unique is telling them Marco was on his own thing. Sal is saying, they saying he was working with somebody. I need to figure out who he was working with and who sent them out there. I want to have a deep personal conversation with that man. Now he's speaking about Marvin. Unique knows that Marvin is the one that set this up, but Unique isn't running his mouth about it because now he can dangle this over Marvin's head and potentially get at Rock. They might have to sacrifice Marvin. Who knows? Bulletproof Records. We got Ziza, Puerto Rican Famous. We doing our thing. Now Ziza, she's on the couch talking about, you wanna do something? You wanna have some fun? He's saying no. He wants to hear his song on the radio. She talking about, you know how many men would kill to be with me? And Lulu tells her straight up, I'm not like other men. Even though he did kill Crown, and that's when he did get with her, he says, I ain't like that. Then the song comes on the radio. Now it's time to have some fun. But I told y'all, when that gun is to your face, what is the procedure? None of us know it. That DJ knew I gotta play this song on repeat though. Malcolm had this conversation with the captain about Burke. Burke already has her issues going on, so when the captain calls her in, she's looking at Malcolm saying, do you know what this is? He talking about they might be cutting overtime. But as soon as she gets in here, sits down, captain goes off. Burke, we watching you. You need to be doing your job. Oh, what is this private investigation that you're doing with the Bingham family? Also, why are you digging into Malcolm Howard's files? Do your job and don't worry about no one else. And she's wondering, how did he find out that she was investigating into Malcolm? He said, I got eyes and ears all around this building. Man, Burke, you on thin ice. Now, I've been there before, and I know how it is when it's you against everyone in the office. But you better keep your head down, keep your nose clean, and get that work done, because Captain is not playing. Raquel, she's on the phone making a call down to the DMV area to try to get Abraham out of jail to show Tremont, hey, I'm going to work with you. Now, Kanan gets here and she's like, look at this house, man. Everything we worked for, it finally paid off. But Kanan, he's upset because his mom's been lying to him. So he asked her, why'd you go talk to Palmer like that? She's saying, well, that's not her first time messing with little boys like that, Kanan. You shouldn't be around her. That isn't right. Kanan is saying, how would you know if it felt right or wrong? Because he has the paternity paper. She was underage when she had Kanan. So he's saying, maybe you know how it feels. And Rock is saying, I don't know what you're getting at. He said, well, Scrap's mom pulled up on me and said that you might know something and you ain't doing nothing. And Rock is still denying it. She even threw in Kanan's face that there's no more secrets. But Kanan ain't saying nothing. He tells her, I'm going to live with Famous for a little bit to clear my mind. So Rock has to wonder, what information does young Kanan have? The division between Kanan and his mom, hey, is piling up. And Kanan can't deal with it. He's getting frustrated. He's going to stay at Famous's house. Man, hey Rock, you better come clean with this young man. Marco's dead. Sal goes to the bar with the rest of the mobsters and they're drinking. Salud. In comes Jimmy. And Jimmy says, we found who was with Marco that night. It was Dominic. And Sal, just like us, were like, damn it. We told him to stay away from Marco. He messed up with Jimmy in the woods. We already knew that Dominic was going to mess up everything. Now Sal says, take me to him. I want answers right now. Jimmy is the most loyal dude in the mob. Marvin goes to Rock's house. And outside he sees Jukebox in the back. Hair ain't perm no more. It's back to braids. And she's burning some stuff up. Now these two, their relationship, it isn't close at all. Marvin's still been trying to get in there. Juke's been away from him trying to rekindle something that may have happened with her mom. But after Kenya brought all those church folk over, she don't want nothing to do with that. So she's burning everything that Kenya gave her. Now we see that Marvin and Juke, they both look at Kenya the same way now. Sal goes to the hospital to talk to Dominic, the habitual messer-upper in the group. When he gets there, Dominique's talking about, oh man, if I'd have lost another drop of blood, I'd be dead. Sal's not trying to hear that. What were you doing with my son? What was the job? He's saying, if I would have known it wasn't by you, I wouldn't have went on it. But Marco, it was a hit on the girl and it went bad. It was supposed to be easy. He said, who ordered the hit? First thing he do is say, it's that nigga bitch. Raquel's brother. The one with the beard. Marvin. The one with that mop on top of his head. Marvin. He's like, look, let me get out of here. I'll be the one to go get revenge for you. I told you we should have killed Raquel in the forest. Jimmy didn't do it. So Jimmy did mess up, but Jimmy wasn't going to kill kids. That's part of the mob. So they're about to go try to handle this and figure it out. This is what we wanted to see. Where is this war going to lead? Sal is saying that POS, piece of shit, in there, he don't make it till dawn. We know who it was. Call that nigga bitch from New York. Tell her we need to talk. Me and her, us only. Now he's also telling Jimmy, you should have probably killed her when we was in the woods. Because if he did that, Marco would still be alive today. Because there wouldn't have been no business between the two. Sal is upset. Now we got us a war on our hands. Kanan went to Famous's spot. Famous didn't answer. Now my whole thing is, if I'm the one getting the money for Famous, I need a key. I need a code to get in this building whenever. But he's not staying with Rock. So what does he do? He goes to the only person that's actually talked to him and listened to him. He knocks on Malcolm's door and says, I need a place to stay tonight. Malcolm opens the door and he lets him come on in. Jimmy got the orders from Sal. He said that POS doesn't make it till sunrise. They go in there, close the doors, close the blinds, hold him down, pillow over face, and we just wait. Shouldn't be no longer than a minute and a half. Yeah, well, R.I.P. Dominic. Marvin and Laverne, they go to talk to Kenya because she's told Marvin everything that happened that night. Marvin gets out. Of course, he got some food with him. He talks to Kenya, and she's talking about, Laverne is my daughter too. He said, you don't know her. And what are you talking about sinning? All this sin stuff. Was it a sin when you left us? Now she slaps Marvin. We know how Marvin can get very angry, very upset. But you hear Laverne come out the car and she says dad. She doesn't call him Marvin. She says dad because he's actually standing up for her at one point in their lifetime. Now you hear Juke telling Kenya, I don't need you. Kenya saying, oh, but I love you. I want to be in your life. Juke says, I don't need you. I was doing good without you. And she walks off. So the bond between Laverne and Marvin, it gets a little bit closer. Is it good? No. But she sees that Marvin was actually right about Kenya. Kanan stayed the night at his father's house, Malcolm Howard. Now when he wakes up, he's knocked out on his couch because he was walking around all last night with no place to stay. He got his mom on his mind. He just lost Palmer. It's a lot. Now, Malcolm brings him some toast, some OJ, and he's saying, why couldn't you go home? He said, I don't want to be at the house because of my mom. And I'm sure Malcolm is like, yeah, I know how your mom can get, because he's been dealing with her these whole 2 seasons. But Kanan's saying, let me go out the back door, because he doesn't want anyone to see him coming out of a police officer's house. But Malcolm, he's listening closely. He's listening very closely. Raquel is in the grocery store. We got to put some kind of food in this new house we got. Hey, we made it. We finally got a piece of that pie. But in comes Detective Burke. We just heard that Detective Burke needs to be focusing on her cases, not what Malcolm has going on. And the first thing she says is, outside of the apples, you know what I'm saying? You don't put the apples in the refrigerator, you leave them out. But you and Malcolm have a complicated past. You was his criminal informant. So we just confirmed that Raquel was the criminal informant, telling information to get people locked up when she was 17. It is confirmed that Raquel worked with the police, and I've been telling you all this since season 1. But she's telling Bert, you need to mind your own business, and your hair, it ain't really done too good, and I'm out of here. Yeah, when the truth come out, that black and white don't lie. Juke has a lot going on. She thought her mom was coming back in her life. This was going to be someone that she could look up to, get advice from, be around her mother since she's been gone all her life. And it didn't go that way. And she's telling Marvin, I'm going to talk to you, but just not today. It's a lot because her mom, Kenya, let her down. Now, before she gets out, you hear Marvin say, hey, I'm going to hit you. I don't mean it like that. It's just I'm dealing with all this anger management. And for him, Jukebox calling him dad instead of Marvin, that right there was saying the door is open. Eventually, I'm gonna let you come through that door and we might be able to fix our differences. But Marvin is admitting that anger management, he's trying to figure it all out. He just graduated with Renee, so she's actually helping him get back in his daughter's life. So that's good. That's what we wanted to see from Marvin, some growth. He still got to deal with what the mob got going, but right now, at least Juke, she's opening up to him. Kanan's at his mom's house, the old house in the south side, packing his clothes up because he's going to stay with Famous. Juke comes in and they get to talking, and he's saying he can't trust his mom. He has to get out of here. And she's saying, well, going over Famous's house, he ain't that clean of a dude. Can you got to be prepared for what you're about to do. And he's saying anything beats staying here because Raquel, she continues to lie to me and tells me all these lies. But if she makes herself believe that it's doing it for me, it's good. Now, Juke, that is like Kanan's older sister. And she's saying, well, if you're going to go, you need to pack extra clothes, especially drawers, because you don't know how to do laundry. So she's at least supporting him, and she knows that Raquel was wrong with sending Kanan out there to go shoot that cop, his dad. Well, it's meeting time, and we got to go meet up with Unique because Unique got the word that Sal wants to talk to Raquel one-on-one, and they're trying to figure out things. And Marvin, he's tiptoeing around it, but then it comes out. Yeah, Marco, Sal's son, he went to that home invasion. Lulu seen it on the news. Now they're putting it all together. What were you doing, Marvin? Why were you with Marco? And Unique, he's like, yeah, man, you know exactly what it was, Marvin. Let's not play dumb here. So Rock is upset because now they are into it with the mob, and this might mess up the whole New Jersey operation, even the New York operation, because Sal's son died. I did mention that they might need to get rid of Marvin because of this as a sacrifice, but we shall see. We see Kanan looking over the paperwork that Malcolm gave him. You remember when he went to Palomar's house, there was an envelope in there and the pistol. The pistol belonged to Palomar. This paperwork, the paternity test, belonged to Malcolm. And now he's reading it. Famous seen it. He's putting it all together. Malcolm really is my father, and it says it right here. Rock meets up with Sal. It starts off a little small talk about bowling and tennis, but Sal jumps right into it and says, my son died. He was working with your brother Marvin. Now, you can either give us Marvin, he's got to go, or I could have asked for your son, but I'm not going to do that because we got rules. Now, Rock, she's standing up for her brother and makes a valid point. Marvin didn't get Marco killed. Marco messed up. What Sal is saying is, y'all work with me, you should have came directly to me and my son would be alive. Now, Rock, she's saying, nah, that ain't working. My brother's not dying because of something your son did. No, that's not going to happen. If we owe something, we pay it on the south side. And then they get into her flexing. She's saying it's because of me. Now, this right here could come back and haunt her. She's flexing because of her. After she leaves, she says, I send my condolences to your family. He says, from mine to yours also. Now, he looks at the guy at the bar and he makes a phone call. So that may be them putting that hit out on Marvin. Well, it looks like Crown Camacho's body finally done washed up. The police are out here and they're saying, dang, we don't know who it is. But then they dig in his pockets and he has a business card, Bulletproof Records, Crown Camacho. Lulu, you got rid of a body and left everything on this person? Uh-oh. Bulletproof Records. You hear the detective saying, well, looks like the fat lady is saying, let's go to Bulletproof Records and see what we can find. Things are looking good for Marvin. He shows up to talk to Renee to let her know, hey, look, thank you for everything that you've done to me. You've really helped me out, controlling my anger management. Well, right now, me and my daughter, things are starting to look up for us, and I need some advice because you've already helped me out. So she's like, Marvin, I'm so glad to see you. They start walking off, and Marvin is, he likes Renee. He got into it with Kenya, but that doesn't matter. We don't let that ruin our days. Him and Renee, they're walking. Everything is looking good. Then all of a sudden, Jimmy and one of his henchmen come from down the alley. Hey, Marvin, buck. They get the busting shots. Now, do they hit Marvin? Do they hit Renee? We're going to have to wait till episode 9 to find out. But Sal put that call in. My condolences from my family to yours. All right, there you go. The recap for episode 8. Let me know what you guys think. Did Marvin get hit or was Renee hit? And how long is this war going to go on between the two? Because they are doing business in Jersey. Let me know what you think about that. Make sure you tune in tonight, right after the episode, 1 a.m. Eastern, the live first reaction to this episode. Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the live after show discussion for episode 8. I'm J. Thanks for watching. I'm out.